Go. Shh. Shh. Don't mess with that bull. Guys, today on the Stoney Ridge Farm channel, we're going to show you how we worm our animals or deworm our animals without ivermectin, without medications. We don't treat the well, we treat the sick. We keep the cows in a good environment, and it only makes sense that an animal would get sick if it grazes and eats next to its own manure. You would get sick, I would get sick, and so would they. These cows are moved every 12 hours. You're going to learn something today. So come along, stick around to the end. There's all sorts of awesome information. Woo! Good morning, folks, and welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. We are going over, and I'm going to teach you guys how we worm our cattle, our livestock, naturally with charcoal. We're going to give you some cool ideas for holistic animal care. We're going to have some fun. We're going to move the cows. We're going to talk about our grazing situation, our plants in the pastures, and we're going to see our beautiful cows and the new babies that we're having. Come along, let's have a little bit of fun and show you how to naturally and holistically worm your animals to save money and do things Mother Nature's way. Stoney Ridge Farm, Stoney Ridge, Stoney Ridge Farm. Alright guys, welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. If this is your first time here, your 50 millionth time here, hit that like button. I'd love to have you back. We're on a 150-acre first-generation farm project here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. I'm turning the Honda around real quick and we're going to zip over to the other side of the farm. The cows are about a mile away, maybe half a mile away from the farmhouse, and we're driving by the new shop building we just put up. There's a whole series on building this shop. That's called the Mega Shop. I call it the Mega Shop. It's huge. Guys, you need a lot of space to store stuff when you have a farm like this. You need a good dry place to put all your equipment. Let's head over to the other side of the farm. We'll show you how we're intensively mob grazing our cattle. We'll show you the water system. We'll show you everything. Please subscribe to the channel. Pick another video after this and watch it. There'll be some links at the end of this video. Watch all the way to the end. This is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is intellect. Knowledge is what you need to take with you. What we leave behind when we go away from this world is knowledge. Those are our chicks on pasture out here in the front yard. This is our garden spot right here, raised beds, honeybees, laying chickens. Wood Miser sawmill right here. The pastures are looking fantastic. We'll be moving the cows over here across the road from this other side of the farm next week. Over the gate we go. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, boys and girls. Got our little baby calves over here. Hey, 301, this is the first calf born in 2023. These are all the girls. So guys, these are the cows, happy and healthy, and they're chilling out this morning. Their bellies are full, and they just got done grazing about a 2-acre paddock. I move the cows twice a day in the summertime. What we do is we graze 1/3, we leave 1/3, and we trample 1/3. And what that does is stimulate pasture growth. That's what we're doing here. So our grass never gets cut all the way down to the ground. You got to think about this. If you go out and mow your yard and you mow it down this high, what's going to happen? It's going to stunt the growth of the grass. It's going to burn it up. We're making drought-tolerant land this way, guys. The cows are on this paddock. They were just over here, and you can barely tell it's been grazed aside from the bit of dirt that they've stirred up right here. This is a very compacted area. It's where they like to hang in the shade, but they're putting out butt fertilizer. They're actually putting out some right now. That's kind of a not so attractive sound that's building some very attractive soil. So we're gonna move the cows into this next paddock, and I'm gonna explain what I've done to this paddock, and we're gonna explain how I'm worming the cattle with plants and with charcoal. I see fertilizer, but it's not in the pasture. We gotta get this fertilizer out to the pasture, kids. Come on. Guys, flies are normal, okay? We don't have to give our animals a systemic fly spray. We just need to move them away from the flies. Soon we'll have chickens going in behind the cows, consuming the flies and the fly larvae from the manure. So where we're gonna move the cows is always centrally located around you're gonna hear some mooing around our water tank here. The cows are gonna move onto this new section of grass. There was no grass here last year at all. What I did was took a little bag broadcast seeder and I went around and I broadcasted Kentucky 32 fescue grass seed right here, and I let the cows trample that in, along with rolling hay out on the land. This was bare soil last year, guys. Look at this. See that dark green? See all this wonderful green grass? This entire pasture was covered in weeds and a disaster last year, and now look at what we have. Awesome grass for the girls. They're gonna love it. Now let's go over here. There's a stump over here that I'm trying to burn. So I guess about 2 months ago, I came over here and I dropped this big tree. This is a big red oak. We put the red oak over on the sawmill so we can make lumber out of it. The rest of it we use for firewood, and the rest of it we're using to worm the cattle. So everything serves a purpose here on the farm. Let's go over and show you, and then we'll let the cows out. And the ones with the highest parasite load, in other words, the ones that might be a little wormy, will go straight to that charcoal. These cows are gonna go and attack that charcoal. It's pretty amazing to see them go. They'll hit the grass first, no doubt, but the charcoal is something that's extremely attractive to them, and it helps with their tummies. Guys, I'm also a registered nurse. So what do I know about charcoal? Well, if a person comes to the emergency room and they're overdosing, or they've ate a poison or consumed a poison, oftentimes the treatment is to give them charcoal, activated charcoal, down a tube into their stomachs to help absorb that nasty poison that they've eaten. This is charcoal. Let's go over here and take a look. So you can see this is the red oak stump. The cows will rub on this, wipe their heads on this, and they will consume most of the charcoal that's left behind. This was burnt about 3 days ago, and this is the charcoal that we're looking for, okay? This is the perfect dewormer for our cattle. You will look at this in an hour or two, and it will not look like that. It will be completely trampled out. It will also feed the land. So without further ado, let's let the cows out and let them on this charcoal. Come on, girls. We don't need to rile up our animals and excite them. We need low stress. Low stress animal handling is what this is all about, guys. Low stress. Do you see dogs yipping and people hollering and whistling? No. We don't have high stress. Stress causes the animal to be stressed, and therefore it doesn't gain weight appropriately, and it's not as healthy. So we put these animals out on pasture, and they absolutely love to move. We're mimicking what the great bison herds used to do out on the Great Plains of our country. We're mimicking what the wildebeest do out on the Serengeti, guys. Animals moving, you've got to keep them moving or they're gonna be sick. You can't confine these animals without medicating them, so you've got to keep them moving. These cows have never received grain, ever. Some of these cows have never tasted grain. Come on. That's how simple it is. Takes 10 minutes to move the cows. I can do this in 10 minutes, literally. Sometimes I have to go up in here and make myself part of the herd. Come on, girls. Woo! Come on. Woo! And sometimes I have to open a different gate. Here we go, let's try that. Come on, girls and boys. Get on in here now. There you go. Somebody pooped on you. That's not good. Now, you see these guys trying to follow the other cows? They'll learn in just a second. We'll give them a little push here. We'll just walk behind them. Cows follow cows. Hey, dude, you're going the wrong way. Yeah, that way's the way to go. That way. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way. Uh-huh. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Come on. There you go. There's nothing over there. Go. Shh. Shh. Don't mess with that bull. All right. We got a couple stragglers here. The bull's a bit of a straggler right now. When you let the girls out, oh, they went straight for the charcoal. It's unbelievable. Right into that charcoal. Rubbing, eating, gobbling up charcoal. This cow here is off separate from the rest of them, number 38. She will calve very soon. That's my feeling. She's starting to show in her bag, and she's starting to show in her back end there a little bit. And the ones that were stragglers are coming on through here, guys. Okay guys, so you see cow number 213 right here. Cow number 213 is a little bit more woolly than the rest of the cows. You see some of the shots of the rest of the cows that don't have quite as much hair. This is a sign, this is indicative of a little bit of parasite load. In other words, this cow probably has a little bit of worm load going on. You can see she's over here, she's rubbing, she's scratching, she's licking, she's consuming that charcoal, and the proof is in the pudding. Look at her, she's just chewing it right up, guys. The proof is in the pudding here. You know what I mean? Proof's in the pudding. These cows need to be dewormed, and they're deworming themselves naturally. So what we do is we build slash piles in individual pastures throughout the farm, and as the cows migrate through, and it's not every single paddock or every single pasture, but it's probably once every week or so, they'll go through a field that has a burnt slash pile that has charcoal available for them to deworm themselves. The cows that have the higher worm load, like this cow right here, will go for the slash pile immediately. The other cows will get out here and graze, and they'll also visit. As you could see in the footage, most of the cows in this pasture went to the ash within the first 10 minutes of being up here. So they're going, they're consuming the ash, they're deworming themselves naturally, and that's what Mother Nature did, guys. Prairie fires were just part of nature back in the day. Fires, wildland fires were just part of nature back in the day, whether they were started by lightning or started by the Native Americans. We gotta work with nature, not against nature. And if you think you gotta medicate these animals, I'm telling you, you don't. We're working on a book right now to teach you guys exactly what we do on the farm to keep from having to treat the well. We raise them in an environment that's healthy, with clean air, without dust, with charcoal, with the right plants, a salad bar for them to consume. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. I hope this saves you time, saves you money, and puts your mind at ease. You can deworm your animals with the right plants and the right techniques on your property, guys. Most of these animals have never been wormed since they arrived to the Stoney Ridge Farm, and I'm going to tell you, the proof again is in the pudding. Look at how big and fat and healthy these animals are. If you don't graze your animals next to their own manure and you don't feed your animals next to their own manure, it's amazing. They don't get sick. Imagine that. Guys, thanks a lot. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Love to have you back here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. We're not about feedlot beef. We're about feeding beef, feeding the land, and building our soil. See you next time. Woo! Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. The Stoney Ridge Farm channel. This is your... Ooh, I'm driving my life away. I see fertilizer, but it's not in the pasture. We got... You just got a video of my butt for